Hello YouTube. I'm going to ask the question in this video, why do we swear? This is perhaps something you've never wondered about before, but I think it's precisely the things that we never wonder about that are the most interesting to wonder about, so let me wonder a little. I remember when I was about 14 I looked up in the dictionary the word fucking, and as you do at that age, and I always remember the definition was fucking is a meaningless qualification. And first I didn't understand this, but then if you think about it a little, you can ask yourself, for example, what's the difference between a tree and a fucking tree? Well, when you look at the tree and the fucking tree, you can't see the difference, and so in this sense it is a meaningless qualification. It doesn't tell you anything about the object it's qualifying. But however, you could, and this is going to be my little layman's theory here, you could look at things in a slightly different way, and you could say, well, it doesn't tell you anything about the tree, but it tells you about something about or the object that you're designating, but it tells you something about the person who's saying it. And I'm not at all an expert in sociolinguistics, and perhaps somebody will be able to inform me about whether what I have to say here is corroborated by research. But my little theory is that swearing is a sign of powerlessness. It's something we do when we're in a situation in which we lack power. So I'd like to link swearing to the question of power. Let me give a few examples just to make this clear. When do we swear? Well, we swear when things don't go the way we want them to go. Remember perhaps you remember the first scene of the film 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Okay, I dislike Hugh Grant intensely, but anyway, in this film at the beginning, remember he's got to go to a wedding and he wakes up late, and he's swearing, and that's the first words of the film. He says, so that's an example. Things are outside our control. We don't have a power over things. But I think you can extend this theory to a more social context, because you can say, well, some people just swear from habit. You know, they don't swear when they're angry. It's just they're swearing all the time out of habit. And I think you can link the idea of swearing to your position in society. Let me take another example from cinema. A film by Ken Loach called The Navigators. I'll just explain this little for people who haven't seen this film. The Navigators is a film about a bunch of guys who work together on the railways, and they're navvies, they repair the railways and so on. And their company, which is a public organisation, British Rail, is going to be privatised and split up. So they're going to be disbanded and stand to lose their jobs and so on. So they're in a situation where they're at the bottom of society, and they can't do anything to change what's going to happen to them. And that's the situation of people who are at the bottom of the social hierarchy in general. And in the video you'll see them, they're the ones who swear the most. There's a guy just above this team, and he's like a kind of foreman, and he doesn't swear much, but when things start getting out of, how can I say, things start going towards this privatisation, he doesn't want it either, but he can't do anything about it. Then he's the one who starts swearing, and he swears in front of his workers, and they pretend to be shocked and so on. It's quite a funny scene. Of course, the guys right at the top of the organisation, they're the ones who are controlling everything. They've no need to swear because things are going the way they want them to. as a kind of president of the organisation, who's almost like a godlike figure, because then the workers never actually see him. They only see him in a training video, so he's a kind of like transcendental figure who never actually appears except through images. I said that these guys at the bottom of the hierarchy, it's not strictly true, because there's one guy who actually is below them. It's the guy who comes in and cleans their workshop, and so he's really at the bottom. And this guy swears, every sentence has at least 3 fucks in it. So he's swearing his head off all the time. I think that illustrates the idea that swearing is connected to position in society. So it links it in against the idea of power, but that's not power over physical objects and so on, like missing the train or stubbing your toe or something, over the physical environment, but your power connected to your position in society and your ability to change things. But I haven't really answered the question I set myself: why do we swear? Because I've just said, just talked about how swearing is distributed in society, and a little bit about the power aspect of it. But why do we use those particular words? They're all, as we know, they're connected to sexuality, toilet functions, and so forth. Well, my basic idea here would be that if we can't have power over things, we try to compensate this by having a power over words, and that's why we use these words. And why is it these words that we have that give us a particular power? Well, these are the words that have been not strictly outlawed, but they've been taboo words in the past. They've been words that the people don't want us to speak. And they're words about the body, bodily functions, and so on. And these are the words that the people who have authority and power don't want us to use. You can say from a slightly different perspective that they're words that are demeaning to humanity, take us down to the level of animality, and so on. But I want to really leave that question open. In any case, they're words that have been, to a certain extent, taboo, and that's why in using them that gives us the feeling that we have some power, although this is largely illusory, because as showed from the example of the guy, the cleaner in the film, the fact that he swears his head off all the time doesn't improve his situation. So to conclude then, I wouldn't want to put forward any moral judgments about whether it's good or it's bad to swear. I think everybody swears sometimes, some people more than others, but at least you can say perhaps that swearing shouldn't replace action, because rather than just being powerless and feeling powerless, we should try to not kind of compensate for this by swearing, but we should try and change our circumstances and change our situation. Perhaps get together with other people to try and do that if we can't do it alone. So there are just a few ideas about swearing and why we swear. I'd be very interested to hear your comments. Thank you.